coming into winter time just now, so what I'm going to start doing is a little bit of work on the bike, but the main thing today is I'm going to take out the Motone Mayhem Shorties exhaust and replace it back with the normal stock exhaust over winter time because there is a reason for it. It has to go in for its service. And whenever I hand it in for its service, I want to make sure that it's got the same exhaust pipes on as when I bought it, just so the service department don't have any issues with what I've done here. So, and it's also a good time to give the bike a good clean. So we'll get a clean underneath all the bits here, the collars, and give it a good clean for that. So, when doing bike stuff, the main thing I'm doing is I put on my gloves, just because the amount of nice shiny metal I'll be touching, greasy fingers, if that gets greasier, it's not a great idea. So I just put on gloves, and also I'll be using cleaning fluid as well during this. And then the second thing is to get it up onto its paddock stand. A link to the paddock stand that I use for the Triumph Bobber in the description down below. So let's get up and get started. What I'll actually do as well just now is just get I'll just turn it on. We'll get the sound of the engine with this, or sound of the exhaust with this setup just now, which is astonishingly loud in the garage as well. But I won't let it run for very long, so it's a cold start, because if the longer it runs, the hotter that pipe gets, and then I can't do anything. So literally just a turn on and hear the sound of the bike. The paddock stand is the Oxford paddock stand that I've got here. Again, links to that down below. And then the next thing that I'll be needing is my tools. So pretty much I can do all of this. Yeah, so pretty much all of the work that I ever need to do on the bike can be done with pretty much just these two tool sets. So just a proper Wera Allen keys and the tiny little tool set here, which looks like that. You can do that. However, I've also gone for the slightly more deluxe toolkit here, which has slightly longer bits to it as well. So these are all very good purchases to get. That's got all the bits that you need as well, and longer bits for getting to these bits up here. So I'm going to use this toolkit and this toolkit. That's all that I need. In fact, I don't even need to use this toolkit. It's just a wee bit handier than trying to get all these little Allen keys in here. So again, link to all of these in the description down below. So we'll do one side at a time. First thing we're going to do is loosen off the collar up here for this part of the exhaust. Then that loosens it down here. Then we can take off this bit here. So first is a 12mm socket for this to turn these. And the tool set I'm using is the Wera. And then that gives me a kind of a nice long reach for getting this here. One side, the other. And so that's them loosened off. Being careful not to hit the actual metal exhaust at all, so that's good. And then it's all just kind of easy to take off by hand. And then this collar is quite interesting, so it holds the lambda sensor up there, and then we literally just very easily slide these off, and then they just fall apart like that and that, and then that will be able to loosen off this whole exhaust bit here. As you can see, it's just popping out there. But then the next thing is I want to take off the bit down here. Okay, this bit's going to be a little bit tricky to show. So the next bit I want to do is loosen off this little screw down here, this bolt, and then that will mean we can take the main part of the exhaust off. So having this little wrench here will be handy, but it is a fiddly job, so you're turning it barely an eighth of a turn each time. go. Yeah, no need to fully. How do I show you this? No need. No. No need to fully take it off. Just need to get it to the point where it's nice and loose and it's moving, and then that's where we can pull the whole exhaust, whole bottom part of the exhaust anyway, off. There you go. So that's it. That's it off, and that's it off here. So this is where we need to get it to hang up here. So use the lower collar here, slide that on, and it hangs. Okay, so the whole point of taking this and loosening this off is so that this has space to actually come out. So first of all, the metal bracket, we just need to use a little 5mm Allen key to take this bit off here. Loosen that off. And then that will, once you've loosened it off enough, have it swings off. Now we just peel that bit off. Oh, there you go. So that is that bit off. So as you can see, the main exhaust comes from here, goes down into the cat, then out here, and then with this, there's a screw back here that we need to take off now. So we'll get that. And that will mean that this, although it held on by screws in there, should just wiggle off. There it goes. So it's only held on by a very small bit of exhaust there. So that is us now placing that to the side. We'll give them a little polish later on, and we'll put the old exhaust back on. For reference, the Motone Shorties exhaust weighs in under 600 grams per bit of exhaust. Okay. The original silencers, 3 kilograms, 400, 3.4 kilograms. 3.4 kilograms compared to about 600 grams. So times that by 2, you've got a good 7 kilogram taken away by taking that and only adding 1.5. So you're losing about 6 kilograms of weight by going on to the Motone Mayhem Shorties. And the sound is obviously a lot louder as well. Okay, so now time to put that on there. So the next part of the fitment is getting this little pointy bit into the exhaust outlets, and it needs to go in between there and there. So a little bit of shoving and poking of this into position, and then that will be it sorted. However, the position it's in doesn't look like it's going to work at the moment, so it looks like I need to actually rotate this collar down just a touch. So I need to loosen that off a little bit. Nice. Okay, and that is it, nice and flush with the cat, but not cat in this case. And then just need to put the screw on underneath. And that is just a 12mm wrench for under here as well. Okay, yeah, that's it. Nice. Tight. Done. Okay, so now we're thinking all we need to do is place this bit back on and tighten up, get all the exhaust bits back on. But before that, I do that, I'm just going to make sure I give all of this a good old clean, so there's no dirt and no rust accumulating. And the same with all these bits here. Want to just make sure I get my ACF 50 into all these bits here to keep it in good condition. So now back with the original silencers on both sides. A fairly simple job. It just takes a little bit of time to make sure all the screws are all good, but otherwise that's them back on. Here's the sound difference when I turn it on. a lot more quiet. So now I'm going to let it go through a couple of heat cycles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a wash now to make sure all the kind of grease and stuff is off. Then I'm going to give it its 15-minute tune. So it's going to be from cold to do that. And then that'll be it ready to get its service. Super. Now at the end, after I've let it do its heat cycle, I've let it heat up, cool down a couple times since then, and it's just a case of going back and retightening all the screws, because whenever I put them in, it was cold, it's heated up, it's expanded, it's contracted, so it's always a good procedure just to go back and tighten up all the screws after doing all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, that is it good. Just hear it one more time, much more quiet. Still has an amazing sound, but it's just so much quieter. Nice. Still has an amazing sound, but it's just so much quieter.